was a high school basketball game back in
I'm
Michigan.
100% sure you started. That's
Probably
correct.
was
I go
listed
by.
on
That's when you don't have a record as a left guard to start. This wasn't a cross down because he gave it himself. I'm glad you caught that.
and so the game
I gotta look
was
at the NC. Yes, you kind of you're relegated. Back of the bus. Where I had I put in the wrong. I put 35 with a pass or reception. I saw that. And a lot of those kids. Yeah, so then I fixed it, but it still marks it as an anticipated.
It's not,
So that's what we double check.
it's not like you say, hey, look at the kid with a ratty looking hair and they're into the game.
54 was a chance of being
I mean, a lot of times when viewers send to us or say to us, I take it with grain of salt. Whatever.
that was the point where I was like, I'm gonna go buy a little recorder and run an aux cord and just record it.
I had someone send me an email
Tyler, did you send me a Facebook?
saying,
Yeah.
you're a Fox, you're so liberal.
2 minutes ago.
I saw one through baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
All my suggested
I'm not, I'm talking about two football teams.
That's nice. That's nice.
I'd be interested in how sales.
Oh, that picture is
Martinsburg. The team that's won 49 straight games.
Yes, okay. So yes is the answer to my question.
I mean,
Pretty bad.
they've been blown out.
I like that.
have to work that bigger. No, Rami can.
That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Where's
You
that?
gonna record, Rami?
Yeah, I can record.
Salmon Stadium.
Okay.
Willis White Field.
Okay.
But no, it'll be interesting how that plays out. But we're not worthy. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is like.
Ready, set, go. Questions? What you got?
Raise your hand, we'll get you the microphone. Gents.
First matchup with Mac Brown here. I'm curious if you were in Texas for a while. Do you ever cross paths with him or coach against him in any games?
Oh, I was assistant. I was a running back coach. One of my first 2 years at TCU, we played him. But other than that, no. I mean, we've crossed paths in terms of we've been at a few events together, and he's called some of our games when I was at Memphis. So we've had several conversations, but not too many interactions like competing against each other.
When you were back in Texas, what was sort of his reputation when he had that thing calling when he was there?
Well, I mean, they were really, really good. That was kind of I don't know. The years kind of run together for me a little bit, but you know there was a time there when Oklahoma and Texas were we're not just good, but we're really elite, both of them at the same time, which I don't know if that's happened very many times, but there was a time there when Coach Stoops and Coach Brown were there when they were both, not just good, but in the top five. And obviously he had a fantastic run at Texas and, had one of the best college football players in the history of the sport at quarterback there, and had a heck of a run.
As you move forward without Reggie for at least the first half on Saturday, what have you seen in Devin, and is he sort of the automatic default to move into that spot? Or I know you've got Khalil, who can obviously, he's got some flexibility there too. I didn't know maybe
Sure.
you think about doing some things with him there.
Yeah, I mean, Nasir Peoples has worked there too. Devin just shows up every single day and works hard and continues to improve. I think that's the spot for Dev moving forward. He's kind of been a little in a couple different places, but I think that defensive staff did a good job in the spring putting him there and leaving him there, and he continues to get more and more comfortable.
And Khalil, is he a guy that could factor in?
Sure, certainly. Khalil's got great versatility and knows the entire defense, can really play all three spots, and has before.
Coach, picking up 2 straight victories, what are some things different that you've seen out of the kids in the last 2 weeks and continuing to move forward, hopefully, for this team?
0 turnovers. I mean, it's pretty evident in the statistics. We've done a better job the last 2 weeks taking care of the football. We did not take the ball away last week. Obviously, the week before we did. So we've been holding our own or winning those battles, and I think it's given us a better chance to win games.
Is there anything specifically that you guys can do as a coaching staff to coach to 0 turnovers, or is it just a matter of the kids just hanging on to the damn ball?
Well, I think it's both. I think they have to understand the point of emphasis. You can't just do that on 1 week. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to get that point across. I think from the very first day of spring ball, from the very first day of fall camp, making it a point of emphasis, there's some technique involved. And then your quarterback touches the ball every play, and he's got to set a great example for taking care of the ball as well.
Just curious your impressions of Sam Howell, North Carolina's quarterback, and what he's been able to do this year as a freshman.
Larry did not leave the cupboard bare there, but what they hadn't had the last couple of years was consistent quarterback play, and they've gotten that and more from Sam in the first 6 games. I mean, composure, intelligence. He's athletic. They'll run him a little, just enough, but can really stand in there and deliver the football. Has showed some strength in the pocket. There have been a couple teams that have had shots at him that haven't been able to get him down. But I think he's been the catalyst for them making rapid improvement, because for the last several years, really. They've been very good around that position. They just haven't been as consistent as since Trubisky left. They just haven't gotten that consistent play, and they've gotten it immediately from their freshmen.
You mentioned after the game that Trey Turner could have played if needed. What about Phil Patterson? What is his kind of status?
I'm optimistic that we'll have everybody.
We asked you about the run game struggles earlier this year. You said it was kind of a little bit of everything. Now that that group has looked a little bit better these last 2 games, I assume it's sort of a team effort again. Is Hooker's presence been a jolt in there in some respects?
I think he certainly helped it out. I really do. I think he's helped that. I think we continue to get more experience for those young guys up front. They continue to improve. And then we've played a little better at running back, I think, just continuing to kind of refine the nuances of the running game. So I think all three of those things, all three of those groups, I guess, deserve a little credit for that getting better.
I know you said you're optimistic about everybody. Does that include Darisaw? He went down late in that game. What's his status? I don't know what happened.
We'll
on that
see.
play.
I've got a staff meeting later today. I don't know what his status is. I think he'll be fine, but I'm not going to get into every single one of them.
2 of the leaders in the offense now, Hendon Hooker and Deshaun McCleave's tested, of course, the transfer portal, and now they've come back and are 2 big guys on your team. What does that kind of say about the way that they've come back and they're now 2 guys leading your offense?
Yeah, whatever. Those guys are great kids. They've worked hard, whether they experimented with that or whatever that deal is in the past. We have never talked about it one time since it happened. So,
Haven't had a chance to ask you about John Parker Romo. I think he took over in like week 2 of the kickoffs. Went to Tulsa the last couple of years. How did he get on your guys' radar, and how, happy with you? 6 touchbacks last week.
yeah, last week was better than the week before. We kicked 2 balls out of bounds and kicked one right in the middle of the field. So I think he did a good job handling a little bit of adversity there and responded back. We're happy to have him on here. He has a unique approach. I don't know if you've ever seen. He kind of has like a little bit of a bounding, skipping approach, which caught the eye of our team early on in fall camp, which was kind of fun. But he's done a great job. I don't remember how initially we found out about him or what. The kicking community is kind of all tied in together. So I'm not really sure to answer your question about that. But I've been pleased with his progress, and he enjoys being here. And has been a productive member of what we're doing.
Did he say how he picked up the bounding?
I didn't ask him. It's unique. I don't know. It's just, I think I showed him a video of the whole team. I think it shows great self-confidence. I'm being serious. And everybody kind of embraced it. And it was one of those days in the middle of fall camp where everybody's kind of, tired and all that kind of stuff. And he steps up there to go kick. We were working on taking the line or something, and he, skips or whatever he does up to the ball, and everybody kind of noticed it and immediately gave us a little bit of juice. So.
Coach, it's been a few weeks since Coach Kill joined the staff. What have you seen as far as his impact so far?
Oh, he's been great. He just so much experience. Helping us really in every area. I don't think there's a part of our program that he hasn't touched or had an influence on. Whether that's on the field or off the field, or I think it's just been a great addition for us.
Coach Fuente,
Yeah.
I spoke with Hendon's parents before the game. They speak highly of you and highly of the program. Very excited that he's here. What was something, if anything, that stood out to you during the recruiting process with him down there?
I really enjoyed the process with Alan and Wendy and Hendon. It's a great family. He's got a young brother that's a good athlete as well. Athletic family, but centered around education, which I thought was, we had a common ground there really quickly. I don't know. I don't want to put words into the Hooker family's mouth, but I felt like staying in the region was important. He could have gone to many other places far off, but I always felt like, at least my take on it was that he was going to stay in the region, and really wanted to be coached, to continue to develop as a quarterback and be helped on and off the field. And there's just been a lot of trust and a lot of honest conversations with their family and us, and more than just him playing on the field, it's a relationship that I think we both enjoy.
I heard the post game when you were talking about Taj Gary and kind of remarkable that he played. I was curious, immediately after he had his injury last year, it sounds like you visited him in home. I'm wondering what those visits are like with a high school player that obviously his world is kind of turned upside down with something so devastating like that.
Sure. Well, he was on crutches, and he was remarkably positive. He was showing me rehab video and really how far he'd come in the short time since his surgery. So I left there feeling much better about his frame of mind, quite honestly. And sometimes, you find that. I talked about that with Caleb Farley and his knee injury too. Sometimes you pay a kid a visit to try and lift his spirits, and he lifts your spirits, with their attitude and their approach. And that's kind of how I felt, with Taj when I went to go see him. There were several people from the school that showed up just to kind of support Taj, which always makes you feel a little bit better. And he was just incredibly optimistic. I was, he showed me the video of the hit, which was pretty rough, and we talked kind of in depth about the surgery and what they actually did and all that sort of stuff. And I found him to be uniquely positive in his outlook and his. He certainly wasn't sitting around feeling sorry for himself.
What do you think about his skill set, how he could fit in right now in the spot for him?
Well, I think the first thing is we just, we're continuing to, he's got some size. We're not very big at tailback. And continuing to bring those other guys along, whether it be Caleb or Taj, to, hopefully kind of fill a little role in there with some size and some power. It's kind of what we're looking for.
Anybody else for Coach? All right, we'll see you all tomorrow.
Thanks, sir.
You bet.